The Jacksonville Jaguars select Brian Thomas Jr.
Welcome to Jacksonville, man. Can't wait to have you, brother.
Yo, appreciate you. From Detroit to Duval, the NFL Draft is in the books for 2024. The Motor City did an excellent job, by the way. And now the Jaguars have 9 new players coming to Jacksonville from this draft haul. And welcome into the Draft Recap Show. JP Shadrick, Brian Sexton, and John Ozier. Plenty coming up. We'll go through all the picks. But quickly, an overall thought about this class, Brian.
Well, they said they wanted to get stronger, they wanted to get bigger, they wanted to get faster, and from top to bottom, they did that.
I would call it workmanlike. I mean, they had a trade up top for a guy that clearly they had targeted out of a few guys, and then after that, it was hard to trade this year. So I think they had to grind out a little bit and get spots they wanted. And now they got to develop these guys.
And let's hear from the guy who pulled it all off, the general manager of the Jaguars, Trent Baalke, with Kai Stevens.
Thanks, JP. Trent, we talked at the end of the season. You said you wanted to get stronger, more physical, bigger team. Do you feel you were able to do that with this draft class?
Yeah, I do. You know, that was a big focus of ours. You always want to build your team as big, fast, physical as you can, and also look at the football intelligence of the group. And we felt really good about the process and really good about the group that we put together.
Was cornerback something you guys looked at in maybe the first and second round, but then the way the board fell, you ended up going somewhere else, or was it a different strategy?
We just followed the board. You know, we were prepared to take a corner as high as 1 and as late as need be. You know, it's just how the board played out. Played itself out this year, but feel really good about the group that we put together in the positions of need that we had.
Feels like there's a lot of guys with some physical intangibles. Maybe once you get in the building, can kind of coach up and get in your scheme. Is there anyone you're really excited about kind of getting here and working with?
All of them, to be honest. We wouldn't have picked them if we weren't excited about it. Just a chance to get them in here, get them in the classroom, get them on the field, get them on the grass, and go to work. And you know, that's all they can ask. That's all we can ask. Is we tell them when we call them, just give us your best, give us the best version of you, and if you do that, we're going to be just fine.
As you transition from maybe the first couple of drafts you did here to now where it's more draft and develop, maybe you don't have to get a starter right away. You can work with them a little bit before maybe they're expected to contribute. Does that give you some more flexibility to work with?
Well, I think that misnomer of getting a starter right away, there just aren't that many guys that come into this league and start from day one, regardless of what round they're picked in. So you try to get guys that have great potential. And obviously you're going to get guys with greater potential usually in the earlier rounds, and it tapers off from there. There's good players at every level. There's development that needs to take place at every level, and you just try to get the makeup right. And if you get the makeup right, the physical skills should take over.
When you look at the free agency class and then this draft class, do you feel the roster's where you want them to be at going into training camp?
We're always looking. We're always looking to build. We're going to assess everything after we get done with college free agency, take a look at where we're at on the 90-man, take a look at the needs that we had going into the draft and what we may have coming out of the draft. But, the team's not done. We're not done putting this thing together, and you never really are.
Thanks, Trent.
You bet. Thank you.
Trent Baalke with Kai Stevens. Traits are a big deal, John, to a general manager. And obviously later in the draft, you look for a certain trait or two. But up top, you got to have those skill sets to come in.
Oh, look, developing a roster over 4 or 5 years is always a percentage thing. Some guys make it, some guys don't. Trent clearly believes in the old Bill Parcells theory, which is, don't draft exceptions because then you've got a team of exceptions. He believes in traits, he believes in speed, size, length. It has manifested itself to where this is a bigger, stronger, more physical team than it was 4 or 5 years ago. He accomplished that. In this draft, what number of these guys make it and are great players, I'm not sure. But over time, that's a tried and true approach, Brian.
Today, I go back and I look at his draft class last year. What was it, 13, 14 players. And I look at these guys, and you do see the traits, right? He was looking for size, speed. They had 3 guys in this draft that ran sub 4.38 40s. So, I mean, roster building is what these last 2 drafts have been. And I think you can apply all of his particular characteristics and the things that he holds as important. And he's done it. He's done a pretty good job with it. The roster has a lot of pieces to work with.
And the theory there, JP, is look, every draft has misses, every draft has hits. If you draft guys with the traits, sooner or later you've got a roster of guys that are fast, strong, and big.
Jars on the shelf. You need them. You're going to pay a quarterback. You're going to have guys that you can count on so that you don't have to hit the free agent market to count on guys.
All right, guys, let's dig into it. Let's get into the picks, starting on Thursday night with the first-round draft pick. After trading back from 17, the 23rd pick in the draft, Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from Louisiana State, and a speedster, 4.33 40. He can jump out of the gym. Big numbers last year. He led all of FBS in touchdown receptions and over 1,100 yards receiving. He was in Detroit, one of 13 prospects on the ground in the Motor City, and you see him in the green room there waiting for that announcement to be made by Roger Goodell, and the celebration went on into the evening. There was an early flight the next day, though, for Brian Thomas Jr. They had to take the private jet down to Jacksonville, and he arrived on Friday morning visiting with the front office staff. Jaguars owner Shad Khan was in attendance, of course, and making the rounds. He had lunch with his family at the Miller Electric Center and got his first taste of life as a Jacksonville Jaguar. There's no doubt about it, though, after his visit with the media, Brian Thomas Jr. is ready to get down to business.
Come in, earn the trust of the quarterback, earn the trust of my teammates, coaching staff to know, like, when opportunity presents itself, I'm going to go out there and give my all, go out there and make the play. I would say that was my expectations coming in.
So that's Brian Thomas Jr. And guys, he's he's got it all. He's got speed and height, and he can jump and he can run.
I was not on the private jet back. I flew commercial and ran into Cortez Hankton, former Jaguars receiver, current LSU offensive coordinator in the airport. Had a nice conversation where he said, this is as talented a kid as he has ever had. He's my guy. So you consider the guys that he's coached both at LSU and Georgia. That speaks highly of an SEC receiver. He's a playmaker.
Yeah, look, sitting where they were, people wanted them to go after a 1. You weren't going to get one of the top 3 guys. This is the guy out of all the other guys in this draft who's sitting at 23 had the most number 1 receiver traits. He's got to develop those, but he sure has size, length, stats against production. You know, I don't know how many more boxes you have to check until you like this kid.
No doubt. Let's move along. Speaking of checking boxes and traits, on to round number 2. And Mason Smith, the defensive lineman from Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge, and another big body defensive lineman that can play. 6'5", 306 pounds. Put together some big time numbers, and he missed 2 years ago with a knee injury, guys, but he came back and got better as last season went along.
A lot of the measurables are the same as Jeffrey Simmons from Mississippi State and Chris Jones, another Mississippi State guy. He just doesn't have the production because of the knee injury, but he's got the height, he's got the length, he's got the strength. And according to people who know him well, he is motivated to be a great player. I kind of like that right there. If that's what he's going to do, and he's motivated to do it at the next level, he can hit his potential, which is pretty high.
Yeah, some analysts like taking guys with an injury history at this point, and some guys don't. ACL was his injury.
Yeah.
Young guy. There's no reason to think that any of that stuff will affect him as he goes on. This is the right time to be taking it. He's coming off. He'll be 2 years off that injury when his rookie season starts. Everything nowadays with an ACL tells you that he's fine once the season starts. He's back at 100%. I don't worry about ACLs 2 years out for young guys anymore.
Trent says he was 100% at the end of last season.
That's right. Yeah, it happened week 1, 2 seasons ago, so he should be good to go. And he has a connection, of course, with the Jaguars coaching staff. Matt House, the inside linebackers coach here, was the defensive coordinator in Baton Rouge for a couple years. But for Smith, it has been a long time coming to make the league.
I've been dreaming about this since I was 6 years old, my man. So, just being able to live that dream out, man. And I told my mom, I told her yesterday, I was like, Mom, it's different when your dreams staring you right in your face. And like I said before, man, I couldn't, when I got that call and it said Jacksonville, my heart just dropped because I don't think there's a better situation for me to go to, man, honestly.
From Mason Smith to the defensive secondary and Jaron Jones in the third round. This was a position, guys, that I think the Jaguars fans wanted as early as they could get in this NFL draft. It comes in the third round. It comes out of Florida State. And this is a guy that grew up a Jaguars fan. We'll get to that in a minute. But after the draft and after the draft pick, Doug Peterson talked about he could be a nickel. He could be a special teams guy. He is a cornerback, and he's now a Jaguar.
Well, and he's fast. He ran a 4.38 40 and played on that great defense last year where he had, 3 interceptions? Here's one of them. Tremendous measurables and a guy who, by all accounts, loves the game and is a gym rat. The kind of guy you want if he's going to come in and have to develop, John.
Yeah, he's got a chance. I mean, this is the part of the draft where now you start wondering what he's going to be and when, meaning they need somebody to play nickel. You assume that Darby and Tyson are going to start on the outside. I think he'll compete for the nickel. Other guys will compete for the nickel. Is there still somebody else out there they bring in? This is, at the end of the third round, is where you start wondering how immediate the impact will be. I think in the long term, he's a good pick.
Well, for Jones, it's not his first love with the Jaguars, no doubt.
So when growing up, I was a big Maurice Jones-Drew guy. Like, I was a big Maurice Jones-Drew guy. Like, I was a super fan of him. And I watched just about, I think, every game that he played, and when Jalen went there from Florida State, like, I was tuned into every game. Him playing inside, outside, just the way he brought, like, what he brought to the game. I kind of fell in love with the Jaguars while Jalen was there, and especially while Maurice Jones-Drew was there, So just now me being able to continue that Florida State pipeline and come in and make plays and do what I do best, it's a blessing, man.
So the first 2 days in the books at this point, and now on to Saturday, and the Jaguars started the day with 6 picks. There was speculation. Could they try to move up and get rid of some of those? Well, they ended up with 6 players on this Saturday, starting in the 4th round with 2 picks. 114th overall, offensive tackle Javon Foster from Missouri, and then 116th overall, LSU defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson. And guys, well, these are 2 players that will help the depth at the trenches on both sides of the football. We talked about this going into the draft. They needed to be stouter in the middle of the D-line. They needed some depth and a swing tackle. This is what will happen on the offensive line.
The big offensive tackle from Missouri started 40 games, mostly against SEC competition. And Trent and Doug both alluded to the fact that, he's going to come in and have a chance to be the swing guy. And then you really love it. Again, a team that struggled at times to stop the run, to have a guy who's as powerful as Jefferson is, 34 reps at 225, that's pretty darn good. They need it. They got bigger, they got better on the offensive line.
Yeah, I'm hoping at this point, I wish it had been going on for a while. I'm glad it's starting this year. When those middle rounds, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 5th, start getting big guys who can be dominant in the trenches, and then you're not worrying in 3 or 4 years about being dominant in the trenches.
So that was the 4th round haul, and now some depth players even further in the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. Quickly through these, starting with Ole Miss cornerback DeAndre Prince out of Charleston, Mississippi, a town of about 2,000 people, went up the road to Oxford, and now the first ever draft pick from his area of Mississippi. There have been a few undrafted players. He's the first one to come from Charleston. 167th overall, Texas running back Keelan Robinson, but he was a return specialist as well, and now with the need for 2 kickoff returners, Keelan Robinson is set up nicely. We'll see how, obviously, he acclimates to the NFL. In the 6th round, the Jaguars go kicker Cam Little out of Arkansas, a guy who was really good from distance in his time in Fayetteville and pretty consistent overall, along with 56 yards in his career, and 2 times named on 2 different All-SEC teams as a kicker, and very confident in his post-pick visit with the media. And then finally in the 7th round, defensive end Miles Cole out of Texas Tech. Big and strong. and a developmental player, as Trent Baalke told the media after the draft, and adds to that depth on the defensive line. Head coach Doug Peterson has 9 new players, and now it's on to the rest of the offseason program, and he's with Kai Stevens.
Thanks, JP. Doug, this is your 3rd draft now. We talked about getting to that draft and developmentality. How do you feel about the class you got?
I feel really good. It starts at the top, obviously, with Brian Thomas and all the way down to Miles Cole, and everybody in between, and just explaining to our local media too, a football team's made up of many parts, and the draft is the same way. And we feel like we've added some really good talent, competition, some depth at some key spots, and looking forward to getting these guys in here.
You took 3 guys from LSU. You focused a little bit on the defense there. I know you have connections. With getting a new defensive staff, was that kind of a point where you're getting some new players they can work with?
Yeah, one of the things I really have appreciated with Trent and our relationship is how he involves the coaching staff. And so with a new coaching staff with Ryan and getting to know, the guys on defense and their involvement with this draft process, I think Trent felt real comfortable with, with some of the and some of the, like Matt House has worked with some of these guys, at LSU, and so there's some connections there and there's some feedback, and I think the whole process has been really good, and it does help, to have that input from all the coaches, right, all the way down to Cam Little, our kicker, with Heath and Luke talking and going and doing private workouts. So everybody's involvement really helps in the whole process.
We talked a lot about free agency, filling those gaps, and then allowing you maybe to take a guy that you can work with before instead of expecting them to step right in to start. Did that help you get some flexibility in those mid-rounds?
It does, and you also look at special teams too, and you take a guy like Jordan Jefferson, and who's going to be, he's going to be a backup, a role guy. He may not be a ready product in September, and hopefully he gives you valuable time, late in the season. We'll see how that plays out. Mason Smith the same way. Keelan Robinson, who is electric with special teams as a returner, and now with the new kickoff rule, we'll see how this thing, plays out. We also got Tank Bigsby currently on the roster, and Parker Washington. So it should be a good competition there as that second returner. But yeah, you look at everything, especially in those mid to late rounds, and I think sometimes the deciding factor can be special teams.
You're going to have rookie minicamp coming, get them in the building. Anything you're really looking forward to getting them doing, or upside on anybody you're looking forward to?
Biggest thing is to get them, on the fast track and get them, as much as we can in a couple of days, caught up with the playbook. I know they can carry over the following week and be in with the rest of the football team, but it's a way to kind of get familiar with the guys and show them just how we operate here and what the expectations are going to be for them.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Kai.
All right, Doug Peterson with Kai Stevens. I guess we'll find out for sure in, 3, 4, 5 years how this class really does. You don't know the true grade until then, but first impressions right away, how'd they do?
Well, they checked a lot of boxes, right? And if you stretch this back through the offseason, it seems like now at the end of the draft, they have put themselves in a position to be a better football team. Contract extensions and free agents and draft. They completed their plan to date. Now they've obviously got to go through the offseason and workout program. JP, they've got to add some undrafted rookies, so they're not completely done. But like you said, it's going to take a while to know for sure, but it seems like they checked the boxes.
Yeah, I think Ethan Waugh on one of our shows earlier in the day said it best. Every pick, they looked to make sure it either made them bigger, stronger, or faster. That's what they wanted to get. Trent said it, 2 or 3 weeks after the season. They wanted to get more stout, wanted to get more physical, wanted to be able to control, the tempo, pace, whatever that is of the game. They wanted to be able to take control and not get pushed around. They took a receiver, and then they set about not getting pushed around and getting better on special teams. It was workmanlike.
Check the boxes. That's
What do
they've
you
done.
think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great start. You got a starting receiver, most likely,
Yeah.
maybe. The top picks, can contribute pretty soon, if not right away. And you got some depth.
Just an observation.
It's a good weekend.
They stayed in the South. The furthest north was Mizzou.
Yeah, the first
right,
and the furthest west was Texas.
Everything was they stayed south, and with these mega conferences in college football now, I mean, it makes sense. The SEC is going to produce a lot of talent. Yep. The Big Ten is going to produce a lot of talent as well, because now it stretches from coast to coast. be interesting in future years to see, but I just couldn't help but notice they
And you can
stayed
save a lot on the travel budget
in their
next year.
region. Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
Drive it.
Well done all weekend, guys. Appreciate
enjoyed
it. Brian and John with us. And thanks to our entire crew behind the scenes all weekend long. The football staff, of course, for the incredible access. The PR staff for their support. Social media and digital teams responsible for making all of these shows hit the internet and our social media streams. And our Jaguars.com team, of course, here on the website side and the broadcast side for sourcing and producing the content all weekend long. A full team effort here at Jaguars Central at the Miller Electric Center. And that will do it for our coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft on Jaguars.com, presented by Dreamfinders Homes. And we will leave you tonight with the best of the draft room phone calls in 2024.
Hello?
Hey, Brian, this is Coach Peterson. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
And hopefully you're fired up. We're going to take you right here on this pick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
We're excited.
Ready.
We're excited.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing so great. We're so delighted to have you. I think.
Yes, sir. Great. Happy to be there.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to having you, and great night for you and for us. So look forward to meeting you. Okay.
Hey Brian, how you doing? This is Trent Baalke.
I'm good. How you doing?
You doing good?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go to work?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Jerry.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, man? Ryan Stafford, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got some good news, man. You staying in Florida. We got to pick you with this next pick. Congratulations.
Let's do it, Coach. I swear to God, let's do it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got some people who want to talk to you. All right, head coach Doug
Yes,
Peterson.
sir.
Hey, Jared. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Coach.
Hey, congratulations. We're just going to bring you right down the road.
Let's do it, Coach. I swear to God. Let's play ball, man.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey,
Let's do it, Coach.
congratulations, man. Here's our GM, Trent Baalke, okay? Congratulations. Hold on. Jared, how you doing, man?
Hey, you there? Heck of a party going on. Jared, you there?
Yes, I hear you.
Hey, remember what we talked about in my office?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, man.
Man, let's play ball, Coach. You get the dog, man.
All right, man. We're looking forward to getting you down here, okay?
Hello? Keelan, what's up, my man? Ryan Stafford, Jacksonville Jaguars.
What's good, man?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
What's up, man? I'm on the couch, man. I'm just sitting with my mom and my brother.
Good. Tell your mom and brother you got some good news, man. We about to pick you with our next pick. Congratulations.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Well, I got a few people that want to talk to you, all right?
All right, bet.
Here's our head coach, Coach Doug Peterson. Hold on.
Keelan, Coach Peterson, how are you, man?
What's good, man? What's up, Coach?
Y'all know,
How about you, man?
I'm doing great, man. We're excited to get you in here, get you going. Who's back there? Who's back there? Is that your mom?
That's my mom and my brother, man.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, hey, look, I'm looking forward to getting you in here and going to work, man.
Most definitely, man. Hell yeah.